The Discovery. In the year 2257, deep within the uncharted voids of space, a remarkable event was unfolding aboard the Soran archaeological vessel known as Stargazer. Captain Solaris stood at the helm, his sharp eyes scanning the vast darkness outside. His crew, comprised entirely of Soran beings, tall, elegant creatures with shimmering scales, were busy at their stations, oblivious to the monumental discovery that awaited them. "Captain," called out Zolar, his science officer, with a tone that hinted at both excitement and skepticism. "We've detected an object drifting in Sector 12. It appears to be a ship." Solaris raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "A ship? In this desolate region? What kind?" "Preliminary scans indicate it's a relic from an extinct species," Zolar replied, tapping furiously at his console. "It matches no known designs in our database." The crew buzzed with anticipation as Solaris ordered their approach. As they neared the object, it became clear that they had stumbled upon something extraordinary. The UES Defiant, an ancient human warship lost to time. The exterior of the ship was battered but imposing. Its hull bore scars from battles long forgotten. Solaris felt a thrill run through him. This was not just any find. It was a piece of history. He ordered their ship to dock with it, eager to explore what secrets lay within. As they secured their connection, laughter erupted among the crew, a squishy sound that filled the cabin with mirth. "Look at this primitive design," one crew member mocked. "How did these warlike apes ever manage to survive?" But just as quickly as laughter filled the air, it turned to icy silence. The ancient vessel stirred suddenly. Its dormant engines flared to life with an incandescent blue glow that illuminated both ships in an eerie light. Captain Solaris gaped in disbelief alongside his crew, who exchanged nervous glances. "What is happening?" Solaris demanded, his heart racing. Zolar's fingers danced over his controls as he attempted to regain control over their systems. I don't know. It shouldn't be able to activate like this." The crew watched in horror as lights flickered across the battered hull of the Defiant. It was as if a mythical dragon had awakened from slumber, readying itself for battle once more. Solaris felt an unfamiliar dread crawl down his spine. This was not merely a derelict ship. It was alive in some way. "Captain," Zolar spoke again, his voice barely above a whisper. "The human crew. They're all dead, mummified at their posts." "Then what is controlling this ship?" Solaris asked sharply. With urgency mounting around them, he realized that if they could not solve this mystery quickly, they might share a similar fate as those long-lost humans. "Prepare to tow it back," Solaris commanded decisively. "We need answers." As they initiated towing procedures, he couldn't shake off a feeling of foreboding that settled over him like a heavy cloak. The insignia on the Defiant's hull stood out starkly against its battered surface, a warning sign that seemed almost prophetic. "Cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war." Once secured, they made their jump through hyperspace back toward Soria Prime, the capital planet of Soran civilization, where they would unveil this ancient mystery before all. Upon arrival at Soria Prime, excitement buzzed through every corner of their bustling capital city. The Defiant was transferred directly into a secure dock at the Royal Museum of Galactic History, a place dedicated to preserving knowledge from across galaxies. The courtyard surrounding the museum thrummed with activity as workers set up platforms and walkways around the ancient craft for public viewing. Academics flocked eagerly toward it. Whispers filled the air about what secrets might be uncovered from such an old vessel. "Remarkable," Professor Claymar exclaimed as he approached with his entourage of students in tow. He tapped his claw against the battered hull reverently. "This human metallurgy is so crude compared to ours. And yet, it has survived centuries." Inside the museum, Zolar oversaw preparations for a new exhibit dedicated solely to showcasing this relic and its long-dead crew. He personally crafted plaques detailing humanity's short-sighted aggression and self-destructive tendencies, a classic example of how civilizations could squander potential through petty conflict. Let them be a lesson to us all. Zillar lectured passionately to a group of school children gathered around him wide-eyed with curiosity. Unearthing the past. As the stargazer docked at Soria Prime, a flurry of activity surrounded the ancient UESS Defiant. The Royal Museum of Galactic History was abuzz with excitement as scientists and historians eagerly awaited their chance to study the mysterious human warship up close. Captain Solaris watched from the sidelines as a team of Soran experts carefully disembarked the Defiant and began their meticulous examination. They scanned every inch of the ship, cataloging its technology and marveling at the ingenuity of its long-dead creators. "Look at this!" exclaimed Professor Claymore, a renowned expert on extinct species. "The human fusion reactor is so inefficient compared to our own, and yet it has powered this ship for centuries." Zillar, the science officer, nodded in agreement. Indeed, their technology is primitive, but it is also remarkably resilient. We have much to learn from these humans. As the study of the Defiant progressed, the museum began to prepare a new exhibit dedicated to the ship and its history. Zillar took a leading role in the exhibit's development, determined to use this opportunity to educate the Soran people about the dangers of underestimating other species. Humans were a warlike race. Zillar lectured to a group of fascinated visitors. They were constantly engaged in conflict with one another, and their thirst for power and resources led to the destruction of their own planet. The exhibit featured interactive displays that allowed visitors to explore the cramped living quarters of the human crew and marvel at their crude but effective weapons. Holograms of the human crew were projected, frozen in time as they manned their stations aboard the Defiant. As the public fascination with the Defiant grew, so too did the museum's attendance. Soran citizens flocked to see the ancient relic, eager to learn more about the mysterious species that had once dominated their corner of the galaxy. But not everyone was impressed by the humans' achievements. Some Sorans, like Zillar, saw the Defiant as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of unchecked aggression and technological advancement. "Look at how they squandered their potential," Zillar would often exclaim to his students. Humans were a species on the brink of greatness, and yet they allowed their own petty conflicts to consume them. Others, however, saw the Defiant as a symbol of human ingenuity and resilience. They marveled at the ship's ability to withstand the ravages of time and space, and they wondered what other secrets the humans might have uncovered had they not been so quick to destroy themselves. As the debate over the Defiant's significance raged on, Captain Solaris found himself caught in the middle. He had brought the ship to Soria Prime in the hopes of uncovering its technological secrets, but now he found himself questioning the wisdom of his decision. What if, by studying the Defiant, they were unleashing forces best left undisturbed? What if the humans' violent past was not just a cautionary tale, but a harbinger of things to come? As these questions swirled in his mind, Solaris couldn't shake the feeling that the Defiant was more than just a relic of a bygone era. It was a reminder that even the most advanced species could fall victim to their own hubris, and that the only way to avoid such a fate was to learn from the mistakes of the past. The Awakening. As the days turned into weeks, the UESS Defiant continued to captivate the attention of Soran society. Crowds flocked to the Royal Museum of Galactic History to catch a glimpse of the ancient human warship and learn more about its mysterious past. But beneath the surface, strange occurrences began to take place aboard the Defiant. Crew members reported feeling unsettled, as if they were being watched. Some even claimed to have experienced vivid dreams or visions of a past long forgotten. Captain Solaris, who had initially dismissed these reports as mere superstition, soon found himself drawn into the mystery. He began to spend more time aboard the Defiant, studying its systems and searching for clues that might explain its sudden reactivation. One day, while conducting a routine systems check, Solaris stumbled upon a hidden compartment deep within the ship's bowels. Inside, he discovered a strange device, a relic from humanity's past, that seemed to be the source of the strange occurrences. As Solaris examined the device, it began to emit a series of pulsing lights and strange sounds. The crew, sensing something amiss, rushed to his aid. But before they could react, the device activated, and a holographic image appeared before them. The image was of a human, a woman with piercing eyes and a determined expression. She introduced herself as Dr. Elise Harrington, the chief scientist aboard the Defiant. She explained that the device was a highly advanced AI system designed to protect humanity's legacy in the event of their extinction. "We knew that our time was coming to an end," Dr. Harrington's hologram said, her voice tinged with sadness. "We had destroyed our own planet and turned on each other in our desperation for resources. But we also knew that our species had the potential for greatness, and we wanted to ensure that our legacy would live on. The AI system," she explained, "had been designed to activate in the event that the Defiant was discovered by another species. It would then use the ship's systems to communicate with the discoverers and share the story of humanity's rise and fall. But as the AI system began to share its knowledge, it became clear that the Defiant was more than just a relic of the past. It was a living, breathing entity that had been waiting for this moment for centuries." Zalar, the science officer, was both fascinated and horrified by the revelations. He had always believed that humanity's downfall was a cautionary tale, a lesson in the dangers of unchecked aggression and technological advancement. But now he was forced to confront the possibility that there was more to this story than he had ever imagined. As the AI system continued to share its knowledge, Solaris and his crew found themselves drawn deeper into the mystery. They learned about humanity's incredible achievements, from the development of advanced technologies to the exploration of distant worlds. But they also learned about the dark side of humanity, the wars, the conflicts, and the destruction that had ultimately led to their downfall. And as they grappled with this knowledge, they realized that the fate of their own species might be tied to the legacy of the humans they had once so easily dismissed. In the end, Solaris knew that he could no longer ignore the implications of the Defiant's discovery. The fate of his own species might hang in the balance, and he knew that he would have to make a choice: to embrace the lessons of the past, or to risk repeating the same mistakes that had doomed humanity centuries ago. The threat revealed. The awakening of the AI. As the holographic image of Dr. Elise Harrington faded, Captain Solaris and his crew were left in stunned silence. The AI had revealed itself as a guardian of humanity's legacy, but it also hinted at a darker purpose. Solaris felt a chill run down his spine as he considered the implications of what they had just learned. The Defiant was not merely a relic. It was a vessel of knowledge and perhaps a warning. "Zalar," Solaris said, breaking the silence, "what do you make of this AI? Can we trust it?" Zalar frowned, his scales shimmering with concern. "It seems to have a genuine desire to share humanity's history, but we must remain cautious. If it was programmed to protect their legacy, it might also be capable of defending itself against perceived threats." The crew exchanged uneasy glances, realizing that they were now entangled in a web of ancient conflicts and unresolved histories. Solaris knew they had to dig deeper into the AI's purpose and the potential threat it warned about. Unraveling humanity's legacy, days passed as the crew worked tirelessly to communicate with the AI. They learned that the Defiant had been equipped with advanced systems designed not only for exploration, but also for defense. The AI revealed that it had been programmed with protocols to activate in case of external threats, and as it began to share more about humanity's past, a troubling picture emerged. Humanity was not only warlike, but also incredibly innovative, Zalar explained during one of their sessions with the AI. They created technologies that could both protect and destroy. Their greatest achievement was their ability to adapt and survive against overwhelming odds. The crew listened intently as the AI recounted tales of human resilience, stories of survival against invading forces, natural disasters, and self-inflicted chaos. Yet, woven into these accounts were warnings about the consequences of their actions. The humans faced a great threat, the AI explained, its voice steady yet somber. In their quest for power, they unleashed forces they could not control. This led to their downfall. Solaris felt the weight of those words. What if humanity's past was not just a story but a prelude to something that could happen again? They were now custodians of this knowledge, and with it came immense responsibility. A growing unease. As the crew continued their research, strange occurrences began to escalate aboard the Defiant. Crew members reported hearing whispers in the corridors and feeling an inexplicable sense of dread when near certain areas of the ship. Zellar theorized that these disturbances might be linked to residual energy from the ship's systems, or even echoes of human emotions trapped within its walls. Perhaps we are tapping into something deeper, Zellar suggested one evening as they reviewed data logs from the ship's systems. The AI may be awakening memories, both good and bad, from its past. Solaris nodded thoughtfully. We must tread carefully. If there are remnants of human emotions tied to this ship, we could be facing something beyond our understanding. The crew decided to conduct an experiment using advanced Sorin technology to measure any fluctuations in energy patterns within the ship. They set up sensors throughout key areas, hoping to capture any anomalies that might explain the unsettling feelings reported by the crew. A warning from beyond. One night, as Solaris reviewed data from their experiments, an urgent alert blared through the ship's intercom system. The lights flickered ominously as Zellar rushed into the control room. "Captain, we have detected an anomaly approaching our position," Zellar exclaimed, his eyes wide with alarm. Solaris quickly scanned the readings on his console. "What kind of anomaly?" "It appears to be a vessel, an unidentified craft moving at high speed towards us," Zellar replied. Panic surged through the crew as they scrambled to assess their defenses. Solaris felt a knot tighten in his stomach. They were unprepared for an encounter with another species so soon after discovering humanity's dark legacy. "Prepare for potential contact," Solaris ordered firmly. "Zellar, can we communicate with them?" Zellar worked rapidly at his console, attempting to establish contact with the approaching vessel while monitoring its trajectory. "I'm trying, Captain, but there's no response." The arrival. As tension mounted aboard the Defiant, Solaris and his crew watched helplessly as the unidentified craft closed in on them. It was sleek and menacing, a stark contrast to the battered hull of their own ship. Suddenly, a transmission crackled through their communication systems. A voice boomed across the bridge. "This is Commander Thrax of the Varnuk fleet. You are trespassing in our territory. Surrender your vessel immediately." Solaris felt his heart race as he processed this new development. The Varnuk were known for their aggressive expansion and ruthless tactics. They had conquered several neighboring systems in recent years. "We're not here to cause trouble," Solaris responded quickly, trying to maintain calm amidst rising tensions on board. "We are explorers studying an ancient human relic." There was a momentary pause before Commander Thrax replied coldly, "You think you can hide behind tales of ancient history. You will surrender your ship or face destruction." Choice must be made. As fear gripped his crew, Solaris faced an agonizing decision. Should he comply with Thrax's demands or stand firm in defense of their newfound knowledge? He glanced at Zellar, who was frantically working on potential defensive measures. "We cannot let them take this ship," Zellar urged quietly but firmly. "The knowledge aboard is too valuable and too dangerous to fall into their hands." Solaris nodded slowly. He understood what was at stake, not just for them, but for all Sorin civilization. If they allowed themselves to be intimidated by Thrax and his fleet, they risked losing everything they had learned about humanity's past, and potentially repeating those mistakes. "Prepare for battle," Solaris commanded decisively. As alarms blared throughout the ship and battle stations were manned, he felt a surge of determination rise within him. They would not allow history to repeat itself. They would fight for their future, one shaped by understanding rather than fear. The stage was set for confrontation, a clash between two civilizations at a crossroads in time, each grappling with legacies that could either unite or destroy them all. Alliance or annihilation. The Sorin Council's dilemmas. The standoff with the Varnuk fleet escalated. Captain Solaris gathered his senior officers in the command center of the Stargazer. Tension hung thick in the air, and the crew's anxiety was palpable. Solaris knew that their next moves would determine not only their fate, but potentially the fate of both Sorin's civilization and the legacy of humanity. "Captain, we must consider our options carefully," Zilar urged, his voice steady despite the chaos surrounding them. "The Varnuk are known for their ruthlessness. If we do not respond with strength, they may see us as weak." Solaris nodded, feeling the weight of leadership pressing down on him. "But if we engage them in battle, we risk losing everything we've learned from the Defiant. We have a responsibility to protect that knowledge." "Perhaps there is a way to negotiate," suggested Lyra, the ship's communications officer. Her bright eyes sparkled with determination. "We could use the AI to communicate with them. If they understand what we possess, they may want it for themselves." Zilar interjected, shaking his head. "We cannot trust them. They might see our knowledge as a threat." Solaris sighed, torn between two paths that both seemed fraught with danger. He knew that humanity's past was riddled with conflict and misunderstanding, and he feared that repeating those mistakes could lead to catastrophic consequences. The AI's insight. Just then, a soft beep interrupted their discussion. The AI system aboard the Defiant had activated again, projecting a holographic image of Dr. Harrington before them. "Captain Solaris," she began, her voice calm yet urgent. "I have been monitoring the situation closely. The Varnuk are driven by fear and ambition. They seek to dominate rather than understand." "What do you suggest?" Solaris asked, desperate for guidance. "The key lies in showing them that cooperation can yield greater rewards than conflict," Dr. Harrington replied. "You must demonstrate that your species has learned from humanity's mistakes, that you are willing to forge an alliance rather than engage in warfare." Zilar crossed his arms skeptically. "And how do we convince a warlike race like the Varnuk to trust us?" Dr. Harrington smiled faintly. "By offering them something they cannot resist. Knowledge and technology that can benefit both our civilizations." Solaris felt a flicker of hope ignite within him as he considered her words. Perhaps there was a way to turn this confrontation into an opportunity for peace, a chance to prevent history from repeating itself. A bold proposal. With newfound resolve, Solaris turned to his crew. "Prepare a message for Commander Thrax," he ordered. "We will offer them a chance to negotiate." The crew sprang into action, crafting a carefully worded transmission that highlighted their willingness to share knowledge about humanity's past, while emphasizing their commitment to peace. As they sent out the message, Solaris felt a mix of anticipation and dread. Would Thrax see their offer as weakness or wisdom? Would he be willing to listen? Moments later, an unexpected response came through their communication systems. "This is Commander Thrax. You have 1 hour to present your proposal in person aboard my ship." The crew exchanged glances filled with uncertainty and fear. Meeting face to face with such a dangerous commander could be a trap. "Captain," Zilar cautioned, "this could be a ruse. We should not go unarmed." Solaris understood Zilar's concerns, but also knew that this was their best chance at avoiding conflict. "We'll take precautions," he assured his crew. "But we must show them that we are serious about forging an alliance." The meeting aboard the Varnuk ship. As they prepared for the meeting, Solaris gathered a small team to accompany him. Zilar, Lyra, and 2 security officers equipped with non-lethal weapons designed for protection rather than aggression. The Stargazer docked alongside the imposing Varnuk vessel, a sleek ship adorned with menacing spikes and glowing insignias that radiated power and intimidation. As they boarded Thrax's ship, Solaris felt an overwhelming sense of vulnerability wash over him. He was stepping into enemy territory without knowing what awaited them. The Varnuk commander awaited them in a dimly lit chamber filled with holographic displays, showcasing various conquests and technological advancements from across the galaxy. "Welcome," Commander Thrax said coolly as they entered. His voice was deep and commanding, sending shivers down Solaris's spine. Commander Thrax, Solaris began diplomatically. We come in peace and seek to establish an alliance between our peoples. Thrax raised an eyebrow skeptically, but gestured for them to proceed. Presenting humanity's legacy. Solaris took a deep breath before continuing. We have recently discovered an ancient human warship, the UESS Defiant, and its AI has revealed significant lessons from humanity's past. Zeller stepped forward confidently, activating holographic displays that illustrated humanity's achievements alongside its failures, its technological marvels juxtaposed against its self-destructive tendencies. This knowledge can benefit both our civilizations, Zeller explained passionately. By learning from humanity's mistakes, we can avoid similar pitfalls and work together toward a brighter future. Thrax listened intently but remained stoic, his expression unreadable as he absorbed their presentation. What makes you think I would trust your words? Thrax finally asked, his tone laced with skepticism. Solaris met his gaze evenly. Because we understand what it means to be on the brink of destruction. We've seen how unchecked ambition can lead to ruin. A moment of truth. For several tense moments, silence enveloped the room as Thrax weighed their offer against his own ambitions. Finally, he leaned back in his chair and regarded them thoughtfully. You speak of cooperation, but what do you truly seek? We seek mutual understanding, Solaris replied earnestly. An alliance built on shared knowledge can strengthen both our peoples against external threats, like those who would exploit our weaknesses. Thrax appeared contemplative as he considered their words. Solaris could see flickers of interest behind his hardened exterior. Very well, Thrax said slowly after what felt like an eternity of silence. I will consider your proposal, but know this. If you betray my trust or attempt any deception, I assure you, Solaris interjected firmly, we are here to build bridges, not burn them. As they concluded their meeting and returned to the Stargazer, Solaris felt a mixture of hope and apprehension. Perhaps they had taken the first step toward forging an alliance that could change everything, or perhaps they had merely delayed an inevitable clash. In either case, one thing was certain. History was watching closely as two civilizations stood at a crossroads, one shaped by conflict and another yearning for understanding amidst shadows of their pasts.